we just marking time till Pete gets here?
Yes.
Okay, we'll just try this and...
Yep, save that one.
Peter's schedule is a complex tap dance of his time. Every day consists of a little bit of everything, from going to scoring sessions, to visual effects reviews, to recording ADR, to sound mixing.
I thought the sound of going in and out of the thing could be a little bit more accentuated.
Having a score right there in New Zealand, it was beneficial for all. Peter's time could be used wisely.
Yeah, I bet.
He's all over the place. You know, he almost needs one of those segways to cruise around.
Of course, what always happens with the music recording is that it's at the most frantic time of the movie-making process. It's right in the middle of post-production.
And getting the fry pan, and then you go to the guy with the mop getting whacked.
So everything funnels together into this very compressed 6-8 week window.
That's the sort of water you want to go for, because you believe that it's deep enough.
Pete, they're ready for you downstairs.
Okay.
1 minute.
I see his schedule and I just think, well, I've got it easy. But he has a tremendous ability to be focused on whatever task is in front of him.
Even though I'm busy, I love being here. I love the music. Just having it playing while I'm dealing with all this stuff is actually a little different, which is nice. Bit of soft, gentle musical accompaniment.
Music is such a heartbeat, a sort of a pulse of the movie. I mean, visual effects, design, production, that's all okay, but I don't know what's more important than music in some respects. The Dwarven themes had to have a nobility, they had to have a sadness, they had to have a sense of a faded sort of empire.
It kind of takes back to what I had thought about and what I had created in Lord of the Rings for the Dwarf Kingdom.
Howard Shore created the sound of Dwarvish culture, the sound of ruined grandeur, something that was once beautiful and proud and great, but has sort of been worn away by the horrors that have befallen it. In The Hobbit, the House of Durin theme has a very similar feel to it.
It's interesting how, with the different dwarf themes, House of Durin has become so predominant and very important piece. And House of Durin kind of takes back to the history of the dwarves and their lineage. And Thorin's theme grew out of the House of Durin.
Interesting thing is when you take that theme and you repurpose it in different ways.
With Thorin's theme, you begin with a scene that's really kind of before any of the quest has begun. You see Thorin and you hear this very shadowy version of his theme. It's not quite put together yet. The goals of that character are a little bit lost. So you see him go from discovering his quest to realizing his quest, and the music follows it.
And then, of course, we have the Erebor theme. You hear that piece and you know where you are.
And Erebor is where we get, of course, to meet a rather large dragon.
Smaug's theme had to accomplish a lot musically. I mean, this is a much more epic, very sinister, cunning, and powerful character.
Do you know? I think Smaug required a sound and a texture different from the rest of the film.
There's one Smaug melody that's very long, it takes a long time to develop, and the other one can be done pretty quickly, just with a few notes. You can say Smaug pretty quick.
You have the basic form here. The ascending version is a little bit longer, but built on the same pitches.
I think that Smaug melody is too sort of comfortable sounding. Is there a way that we can just make it nastier?
You just want creepier?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the melody part. It's just a little too musical and too nice.
We wanted something that would play this sort of paranoid, psychotic feel.
And so rather than sort of bend the theme in a way, I thought, well, you know, what we should do is probably just do something that you never hear, that's very hard actually for them to do, which is various people doing their own interpretation and intonation.
Just all over the place. And ugly. Lots of pressure. Right near the bridge. Pretend you're taking an audition where you don't want the job.
And what they were all doing is they were all playing slightly detuned, but all differently.
Which is very hard because they've all learned to play in tune.
Wow.
Outstanding! Did you guys like
Conrad, that's wicked.
Smaug is somebody who literally is a psychopath. And music is a wonderful secret weapon. It's like the sort of Smaug melody you'd hear with a dentist trying to drill a root canal into your tooth sort of thing, just kind of, it's something that gets into your head, you know?
Watch it destroy him. Watch it corrupt his heart and drive him mad.
Well, that wasn't too bad, was it?
And by the time we get the Gamelan and everything else in here, it's going to be just unbelievable.
In Smaug's theme, we use Eastern elements of the Gamelan.
Gamelan's a family of instruments from Indonesia. It includes all sorts of different sounds, deep gongs, metallophones, xylophones, a lot of pitched metal instruments. It's very tied into all aspects of Indonesian culture. It was used for ceremonies, used for dances, used for puppet plays. And the legend behind it was that it was designed by this god that lived high up upon a mountain. So you have that idea of somebody up in their mountain using this sound to sort of relate to the other gods around.
You wanted to reveal Smaug as a force from the East, something very exotic, and it was a way to bring in the Eastern culture into Smaug.
There's a Gamelan orchestra at the university, and I was charged with the task of going up to investigate, record some ideas, incorporate those colours and those textures with the conventional Western score.
The concept of the Gamelan is the togetherness. We're playing it together.
We did a lot of things that could be used in film composition to make layers of texture and some things for the composer to use.
I mean, It's just an exotic sound. And so I would play around with different melodic parts that are tonally written in scales that evoke, pseudo-evoke the East, really.
And most of it is for the scene where Bilbo's going into the cave with all the coins and the gold and sneaking around.
I remember there were spots where we featured it. I just remember pushing up on the fader because we liked the sound. It's a good complement to a lot of the action. You'll hear little tingly, crazy sounds. They almost sound like the jewels, but they're not. They're percussive little hits that accent the stillness of that room and just the quietness.
What's that?
And all that blended together with the orchestra gets a really, really interesting colour.
While Smaug's theme dominates that last section of the picture, there is a battle going on with the dwarves and Smaug. But if you look at it from a purely musical aspect, there's a battle of themes.
Hello from New York. Benson Howard here.
Hi. And suddenly these guys drop buckets on his head. So now Smaug is buying them time, and now the gold starts to go down this channel. So maybe we're almost playing Thorin's plan now. And it lifts, and now Smaug's coming at him.
The tide turns, it's going with our guys, now it's going against our guys. It's like watching a high-speed tennis match.
From a filmmaking point of view, there's so much subtle stuff that you can do that unconsciously kind of supports the story that you're telling. And now this is the culmination of Thorin's plan. When the statue melts, it's a triumphant moment for Thorin, and that theme's playing. For a moment, we think that Smaug is gone. And suddenly, Smaug bursts out of the gold. And then it changes into Smaug's theme.
The Smaug music dominates right to the very end, and you're left with a sense of, it seems like Smaug's victorious.
We're here on our last day of scoring, and we're actually recording a section of the film right now that isn't really finished. So it's very hard because we're trying to record a piece of music for a section of film that doesn't exist, and we have kind of a guide of it.
There will be visual effects shots that are finished at the very last minute. And so if you don't have a CGI dragon fighting in the forges, because you literally just haven't done that yet, you don't know how long it's going to be. You don't know whether you're talking about a 3-second shot, 5-second shot. So what you tend to do then is you must give yourself flexibility. And the best way to do that was to record the orchestra in sections.
What we would like to do is when we record this section, we're going to split it out, do it in layers.
We're recording all those parts of this music separately so that as the picture changes, we'll be able to edit the music and manipulate the music and sort of rearrange it to work well with the new picture.
Yeah, so we could do the woodwinds first, please.
Woodwinds, you're up.
You hear the orchestra playing together all the time, and you hear how good it sounds, and it's a fantastic sound. But then we suddenly started breaking the orchestra up, and then you realize that every individual section is phenomenal.
Percussion, thanks, sir.
Horns, please. Strings.
The Forges was also obviously a climax, so you've got the full orchestra playing, and you've got, it's got to be very, very exciting. And you put all that together, and it sounds exactly like what Howard wrote.
Thank you very much. You've all been amazing.
So thank you. And
Thank you. No, I've just come to say that we thought we might want to do the whole score again, one instrument at a time. Hey, folks, just want to thank you very, very much. It's been fantastic. It's I've looked forward every day. I've looked forward to coming in here and sitting and hearing it all. It's just been terrific, and you've done us proud, honestly. Done New Zealand proud too. So congratulations, and thank you so much for all the incredible focus, and you've made our movie sound so incredibly good. Thank you.
There's got to be great pride from the orchestra to know that they played this score. They brought their own personalities. It's got a distinctive sound. I must say, I'm proud. If you think of film score as being, in a way, the emotional heart, because you can close your eyes, but you can never close your ears, even in the movies.
Well, film is a very collaborative medium. It's really a team, a group. There's a lot of great artists who work on a film. Great engineers. The musicians that I've worked with in England, musicians we've worked with in Wellington that have contributed so enormously. And I always thought that to make good films, you have to have this really good sense of collaboration. You have to have this balance between the arts and all the different disciplines that are required to make a film.
Of course, everybody wants to know, how does it end? All I can tell you is we've started working earnestly on the third film.
And the third part is interesting because it's really the third of 6. So you're really writing a piece between 2 and 4, and that's an interesting place. So it's not really a closure, really. It's really an ending and a beginning.
I'm very much wanting it to be 6 movies that ultimately become a grand story that you can see from beginning to end. Music unites the film, and ultimately it's going to unite the entire 6 films as well.
And now I must take my pencil to paper and write a new score. Thank you all for listening.